I like Richard Onyonka on how he is now giving a word of wisdom to our leaders. Speaking in the Senate is actualizing the current situation Kenyans are experiencing in their life. The factories which have been stopped due to corruption, and the government have spoke about it. The government have even raised on how they can start the factories to work again, but no one is caring. Therefore, Richard Onyonka is exposing some of the government leaders or politicians who have grabbed land or country properties and even bragging with the wealth of the country, and therefore is saying there is no time for pampering leaders, but it is a kind of a great shame they are bringing to our country. And it is high chances for the Gen Z to demonstrate and demand their right on this movement. It furthermore extends his thought by saying that the reason why our young youths are demonstrating outside there is because leaders are no longer having a great impact with them. Leaders are taking things for granted. Leaders are not serious with whatever they are doing. Their work is just to loot. Their work is to just enjoy the cool breeze with a shot at the beach, and they don't consider Kenyans at all. And therefore, is calling upon leaders with such kind of behavior to think about the future of our country. Let's take a look and listen to Richard Onyonka. I like how he have elaborated this, and there's a leader whom we need as a president in the coming future. And let's hope he's not going to change on how he's deconstructing the people.
It is we politicians who go and buy 2 million metric tons of maize. We come and sell. We bring 3 million metric tons of sugarcane. Mumias is dying. Chemelil is dying. Sony Sugar is dying. Those are factories that used to employ people. Who are the biggest dealers of investment companies in Kenya? We, the political class. What happened to Kenya Airways? Look at it now. It's smelly, filthy. It was the pride of Africa. Who runs Kenya Power? Why are we not told who are the owners of the independent power suppliers of this country? Why are we not being told who owns our national parks? But you hear money is being stolen by none other than the elite and the political class. These people out here are tired. These people are tired. I was crying this morning today because we are messing up a good thing. We are messing up this country. Who wants to be a refugee? And there's enough for you people to eat, so long as you eat with manners. The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, you go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goddamn budget is. Just manage it, don't steal it. A few people are stealing too much. These kids out here, they know everything. They know your houses. They know where your kids go to school. They know which properties of land you have. Why must somebody have 4 million acres of land to his name? What happened to our mentality? Then we pretend and run to churches talking about Christianity, how Jesus... Do you understand what you are dealing with? The people out here don't even believe in God anymore. The people out here are tired of the lies, the religious organizations. And I have to say this, I'm a Catholic. I was so happy I saw the Purple No-Show talk about the issues of a country. Let us forget that we can run this country as tribes. Let us accept that there is a new sheriff in town. That sheriff is the GNC. They are partyless, they are tribeless, they don't have money, they just have bundles and a phone. and they'll stop this country to move. I would like to plead with the members of this House when it comes to looking at what role our committees are playing. Look at what happens. I want to thank my brothers Sifuna, my brother Chirargei. I want to thank Madam Dulo. These are, many of you may not know, we've never discussed it here. How many times we've been threatened that we are raising issues about county governments losing billions. I mean, who doesn't know how many governors own apartments and houses in Kilimani Road? Each one of them owning an apartment costing 1.5 billion shillings. Why didn't the fool just go and build a hospital where he comes from? How I wish we stole the money and put it at home. Some of them are going to Dubai. People are going to America. You see on social media. I just saw somebody commenting saying that the senators got nothing to do. I want him to tell me how he bought a Bentley and is an MP. Explain to me, how does somebody, the truth is, I'm born with advantage and privilege. That is the truth. I saw my father driving a big car when I was a small boy. That is not what drives me. What drives me is, how do you get a member of parliament driving a Mercedes that costs 49 million shillings? And we are watching, and that is normal. And it is okay. And it is okay. Shame on us. Then we make sure this money doesn't go to the schools. We make sure that hospitals have no money. We start building hospitals now. We want the poor people to come to those hospitals. Poor people can't come to Nairobi Hospital. They can't come to Aga Khan. Some of them can't afford Kenyatta. You saw the other day, Kenyatta has a debt of 6.6 billion. The Eldoret Hospital, Eldoret KTRH, has a debt of 3.9 billion. When you ask, they tell you we don't know where the money went. Are we fools? Do we need to buy houses which have got 15 bedrooms and drive 19 cars and put them in your parking lot, and you want 10,000 acres of land? You want a ranch? You fools, you go and buy a ranch in Australia. This is where we are. We keep blaming the police. The policeman cannot do anything. Have we ever gone as a Senate to go and see where the police lives? How he takes his kids to school and his salary is 19,000. And this house has to start thinking about those things. We guys must begin, and we ladies and gentlemen in this house must begin to agree that we can reduce our salaries, that we can drive smaller cars, that we can wear kaundas. In fact, the only thing I'm very annoyed about the president, I'm the one who started wearing kaundas. Now he has given kaunda a bad name. I want Kenyans to love kaundas the way I loved them. Let us wake up, Kenyans. We can't play football. Money comes from FIFA, it is eaten. World Rally Championship, money comes from there, it's eaten. You go, you want Kenya Lawn Tennis Association, they only want 50,000 to hold an international tennis tournament. Not even the minister appears there. But when the minister is traveling out of the country, he's got how many people? Private jet, goes to Dubai, books one of those hotels, luxury hotels, and he comes back to Nairobi with the same 9 people he took with a private jet. And you assume that the Gen Zs don't know. These days they track you. They can know which private jet you took, where it went, and how it came back. Many of us are worried because either because of history or because of what has happened, we have got a lot of money now, we are owning so much land. Please allow us to have spatial planning. Your land, we can have an implemented law in this house to protect your even identity. But please don't stop stealing public land. Let us have mercy at our people. You saw people from Eldoret and Kakamega talking about, our chambers which our grandfathers left for us. Now you guys who are MPs and senators, you come, you chase us away, and then you throw us into court. You go and bribe the courts. And I want to talk about the judiciary. We respect you. We know that you are most of the time under the pressure. We know there are certain things which you can even be blackmailed, but we want to hold you at a higher standard. We must hold the judiciary at a higher standard, the legislators at the higher standard, and make sure the president is also at the higher standard. That is how we can move as a country and stop this nonsense. We behave like monkeys running through a forest looking for bananas without knowing whether it's the bananas they want or it's oranges. I really, really want to say this, Madam Speaker, finally. I was nearly giving up on my country. I have changed my mind because of today. The young men who are fighting for this country have done us proud. Let us treat them with dignity. Let us make sure we engage them. Let us stop doing the things which make them angry, desperate, and upset with the ruling class. The truth is, if this country breaks down, it takes all of us down. I can tell you, I was in South Sudan when we were doing the comprehensive peace agreement. I visited as a minister, as a young minister, to go and do what was called a referendum. I've been to Khartoum. I have been to Mali. I've been to a country in West Africa. I'll remember the name, Madam Speaker. You look at how people have been treated.
But where did the rain start beating us? You've watched and listened to that video. And those are the questions we must ask ourselves. And what are the main agenda of our leaders? What do they have to present to us in this country, which might be said, hawa viongozi wako na vision, hawa viongozi wako na dream, kuhakikisha ya kwamba nchi yetu imeendelea zaidi kushinda ya sai ama ya sasa. You have talked about Moroni Sugar, you have talked about Chemelil, you have talked about Mumias. Those are factories from Nyanza. We have leaders from Nyanza. We have governors. They never think of even bringing back Moroni factory. They never think of bringing Chemelil factory. They never think of bringing Mumias factory into function due to their negligence in their leadership. And I'm not afraid to say it. So Richard Onyonka, apart from blaming some of the government cartels, is also blaming other county leaders for failing people. Kwani mnataka kusema hata governor hawezi ongea na rais waseme, rais, mimi kwa county yangu hakuna factory inafanya kazi. Jameni, wacheni tuambieni tu kweli. Tuambieni tu kweli. Kwani huwezi pea hata pressure kwa president? Umwambie rais, hapana, mimi nataka hivi na hivi. Ndio watu wa county where I come from should get a job. And that is a big challenge. The governors themselves are no longer talking. They are quiet. They pretend that things are okay. They are afraid, and they have conned the people in the county level. But I like this Senate on whatever he's saying, on what he's saying. It's making sense. Please, leaders, Kenyans are very clever. The Gen Z who are demonstrating out there, they are very sharp in mind. You can't convince them. You can't mistreat them. But just allow them to exercise their duty. Some of you leaders are even displaying their choppers, their houses, their Germans, whichever dogs they are having, cost 1 million. How they wear clothes, how they put on trousers, how they put on watches, how they put on a cape. But those are none of our businesses. Whether you put 10 million cloth cost, whether you put 20 billion of shoes, haya yote ni ya dunia. Lakini, how have you helped the people in the country? How have you helped them? That is why Richard Onyonka is making a call to our leaders to wake up from their slumber and stop stealing people's property. Stop misleading people. Stop creating chaos in the country, but to create a cool environment to those who are doing businesses, and open other businesses, open other factory. And they have called even the government to check on other factories which had collapsed and raise them back and raise it again to work. And it is possible. Na ni maajabu sana. Mumias tangu izimwe haijawahi fanya kazi. Leaders wenye wako huko wanaongea tu mingi na hakuna mwenye anatake action. Mimi kama ningekuwa governor, ningechukua hata county government nifungue hiyo factory iendelee na kazi. Wakuje tu wani arrest. But I've done a great things to my people. Kisumu County, Moroni factory, I've never functioned. I don't know which year. The cartels which made the factory to collapse are even flying with choppers. But no one is coming out and talking about it. I don't know if Uhuru Kenyatta was the one who said giving out pesa ya Mumias. Sijui ilienda wapi. Sijui ni Ruto ndiye alisema. Sijui ilienda wapi. I'm very much concerned with those factory in Nyanza, by the way. Ukifungua factory, at least kazi itaendelea. Kazi itaendelea. Utasaidia watu wengi wenye wanazeeka hapa warudi ushago wafanye kazi. Ndio maana unapata mtu anafika hata 60, 80 bado anaendelea na kazi ya urban area. Kwa sababu ushago pia hakuna kazi. Lakini kama tungekuwa na viongozi wenye wako na akili ya kutosha kusema ya kwamba wacha leo tufungue hizi viwanda, watu wengi wangekuwa wameanza kuhamia Moroni, Mumias, not only even other parts of the country where the factory had collapsed. Believe me or not, wakifungua kazi itakuwa na watu wataacha urban na warudi wafanye maendeleo. Na hiyo sasa ndio Ruto atapata economy mzuri sana. But they don't see it. They don't listen to Onyonka giving a word of wisdom. Our country is doomed, and we no longer have leaders who reason. Only a few of them. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, mkienda uchaguzi mfikirie sana. Si mambo tu ya kuchagua mtu sababu ako na pesa. Si mambo tu ya kuchagua mtu sababu ako na gari. Si mambo tu ya kuchagua mtu sababu ni handsome, sababu ni tall, sababu whichever it is or he is. No. You must think twice and learn from a victory. Haya.